Your rights stop where mine begin. And that's how the Constitution was set up, you know? So nobody's rights are more important than this person's or that person. That's BLM right now has got everybody, not everybody, but a great deal of people brainwashed to think that what they want is more important than anything else in this world right now. And that's a bunch of bullshit.
People need to, there's a lot of people out there that need to read and understand the Constitution. And here, I'm going to give you a reason to go read it. There is absolutely nothing in the Constitution that calls for the separation of church and state. Prove me wrong.
They did write that in some document, though. That was, when did that come into play?
Well, it hasn't completely come into play, but if you go to the First Amendment of the Constitution, it's not calling for the separation of church and state. What it is calling for was you had different religions that were here, and the government gave, like, your church. If you had a church up in Massachusetts or something like that, right? You operated a church, the government give the church X amount of money to operate. Well, then another church pops up, and the government starts giving that church money, but it's got more parishioners, so it gives them a lot more money than this other church, and they get to bickering and arguing about, okay, so who's going to be really the national religion? Well, Christianity is what they chose, right? So to bring it back around, that amendment has got that spirit in mind, not the separation of church and state.
Ah, okay. While we were discussing this, I just thought of something. There's a portion of the left that really wants to do away with the Constitution, what it stands for, what it into play.
Right.
They want to do away with it. That means we would do away with the amendment about abolishing slavery. So can we go back to having slaves?
Absolutely not.
Like, what? I don't care. I don't understand why they're trying to tear all this stuff down that works in their favor.
Well, but the left, they're only going to do exactly what they got to do for them. There's no helping anybody else. There's no, let me assist you with this.
I can't even make sense of any of this shit they do. Like, I can't remember what state it was. They took down a statue. The state politicians voted to take down a statue that is Lincoln and and a slave that he just freed. And they put that statue up a few years after he did that. You would think the black community would want to keep that statue. That was a very powerful moment in their history, in the country's history. But they're going to do away with that statue because they said it's racist. What's racist about that? It's a white man that just freed slaves. How is that racist?
Dude, if you've never seen Gone with the Wind, if you have it on DVD or VHS or something,
I saw it years ago.
Keep it, because you won't see that on network TV. You won't see that on TV again because of all the racist connotations.
People aren't intelligent enough to watch it and know that's set in a time period, and that time period, that kind of shit was acceptable. It's not acceptable today.
No, but
they finally got Blazing Saddles too.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah. You knew that was gonna. When the sheriff comes to town, shit just starts falling apart. So that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, no kidding, man.
But I would love to have a copy of Blazing Saddles.
Dude, this whole thing about pro BLM and everybody should. I had a dude online ask me, "Do you support BLM?" And I answered him and said, "I don't support racism." He said, "Well, just answer the fucking question." All right. No, I don't support BLM. Oh man, here they all came out of the woodwork. I'm a racist and I'm a piece of shit. Da, da, da. I'm sorry I can't bring myself to support a terrorist organization. Like
ties to Hamas.
Yeah. I'm sorry I can't do that. I'm sorry that the Clinton Foundation and Soros funds them to create havoc in this country, and I can't support that because I love this country more than I believe in what they fucking stand for. They don't stand for black equality. I'm sorry, people. That's not what their agenda is. I mean, one of them was on Fox and said and I'm not even paraphrasing. He said, America will either give us what we want or we'll burn it to the ground. That's not a peaceful organization.
Come on.
That's somebody making a terroristic threat.
I welcome them. Come on, Bill. Ain't scared of you.
Well, and then you look at Antifa, who's closely tied to him. I'm sorry to burst you guys' bubble, but they are. They're funded by the same people. And then in Provo, Utah, yesterday or today, they had a white SUV trying to pull through downtown Utah, and the demonstrators stopped his car, and one of them walked around the driver's side or the passenger side and shot the guy with the pistol through the window. Now, that guy was an elderly dude that was a grandfather and had his granddaughter in the car when this happened. But you want to tell me that these are peaceful people wanting equality? Fuck you. That is nothing like that, what they stand for.
All I'm saying is I got a guitar case full of up ass waiting on any one of them sons of bitches.
Turn into, what was that movie? Machete?
Machete. Yeah. I welcome it because I honestly, I want to bring out the arsenal a little bit.
It's always good. I mean,
there's guns I hadn't played with in a while.
That's just it. When you got to start thinking in those terms because you may have to defend your home, that's a sad state of affairs we're living in this country. I mean, that's what we've really brought ourselves to. And think about this. This all came unwound and unspiraled in the past, 5 weeks.
Yeah.
This went from 0 to completely fucked off in 5 weeks. What?
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of people that wish they could go back in time and figure out a way to get the police officer, Mr. Floyd's neck. Man, woulda, coulda, shouldas. Had I been standing there,
I don't think that was supposed to happen, though.
No, had I been standing there, I don't think I could have done it.
Being a civilian, it would take a huge set of fucking balls to do it being a citizen. Because once you step to that officer, especially you put your hands on him, granted, I mean, that's not taken away from the fact he was doing something completely wrong. But once you put your hands on that officer, those other dudes would have fucking scooped you up and tied you in a big knot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what they do. And I don't know, dude. That's another thing. I don't even know why I got sidetracked on this, but here's what a lot of people on Reddit in the Tulsa thread are pissed off about. They're really angry that there was so many police officers respond to that scene. And they said, why can't we get response like that if a civilian is shot? And if you're so fucking stupid you can't come up with the answer to that question, then you're just taking up air somebody else could be breathing. I mean, they protect each other day in and day out. And so when one of them gets hurt, yeah, they all come. I was told that while they were, because if you guys don't know the story, this cat shot these cops, got picked up by a buddy and left, and they had a manhunt going on for him for about 7 hours. And they had other officers from other departments that weren't even on duty coming in to help look for this guy. There was, at that time that was going on, there were 6 police officers patrolling Tulsa because all the rest of them went there to try to find that dude.
I got to tell you, man, I'll bet that guy, his buddy, I'll bet he wishes he could have that day back.
Oh, gee, wait, look, just sent that to voicemail.
God, exactly. Just
hitting, he's got an accessory charge now.
Hitting the red button could have saved yourself a major felony. Because let me tell you something, brah, you are going to prison.
25 to life is what you're looking at, buddy.
Yep. Now, if there's a God in heaven, they'll separate you.
Well, here's the deal, though.
Prisons.
I would be shocked if the DA tries to make any kind of fucking deal because you got one dead cop already, and remember the guy a couple years ago that got in a shootout with the officers at the Quick Trip?
Yeah.
And shot the one officer, and the challenge coin saved him from getting that bullet in his leg? They gave that dude 160 years. I mean, they threw the book at him. And then the feds charged him too. Well, maybe the feds had a hand in that case. I don't think you can be charged and convicted federally and local and state at the same time.
No.
But I know the U.S. Attorney General was involved in that and was like, hey, we're going to hammer this dude. We're going to show everybody you can't shoot a gun at police officers. If you do, you're going to go to prison for a long time. Yeah, 160 years.
It's one thing, and I'm just going to go ahead and get this out. It's one thing if you shoot a couple of cops and you get away. They're down on the ground. He could have run. The officers are hurt. We're probably going to find you anyway, but you don't have a murder rap. but you walk back up to them and stand directly over their head and fire
And
your
shoot 'em.
gun.
Yeah, you have to know at that point, like you're crossing a line that you're never coming.
And
And
that
that's why you see people saying like, "Oh, he don't give him the death penalty. He needs to rot in prison." Well, he will die in prison if he doesn't get the death penalty, but he's not going to be uncomfortable. I promise you, he won't.
no, if you let him live his entire life there, he'll be the king of that palace till he dies.
And depending on his situation in his personal life, he may be better off. You know.
Because, I mean, I have to buy my own ramen noodles. He'll never have to buy a ramen noodle in his life in prison.
I just wish, like, how they've turned this into a racial thing. When white cops get shot by a white suspect, how are you turning that into a racial thing? I don't know, but they have online. And I'm like, I don't get any of this. They made the statement that if a black guy, what one of them ended up saying that was, in the history of the Tulsa Police Department, a black man has never shot an officer and made it to jail, that they've killed him before he got there, which is a bold-faced lie.
False.
That's false. And I'll tell you why, because Anthony Kimbrough killed a Tulsa police officer, and he's in prison right now. He's in Oklahoma DOC right now for killing that officer. So, yeah, they've done it in their history. Like, I don't understand why people say this shit. He has to know there's no way that's true. Like, if systemic racism was as bad as they like to tell everybody it is, then yeah, they all act online like TPD shoots a black guy all the time. They did shoot one. I mean, what was it yesterday? They shot one, but he pulled a gun on him. Like, he needed to get shot.
They did.
And they're all, oh, it's a racial thing. They shot him because he's black. They shot him because he pulled a gun on him.
You know, I want to take a second real quick, just to let everybody know that we did indeed finish the video that we've been working on. Outcast Media Group has. Shiner got that buttoned up, and it is on the Outcast Media Group YouTube page. And if you guys care to go see it, it's 4 minutes of stuff that's going to motivate you, not only through that day, but very well may motivate you and help you set course for the rest of your life. And I'm not trying to say that to say we're motivational speakers, la-di-da. This really does have a great message to it. So go to the Outcast Media Group YouTube page, take a look at the video, and if you like it, share it. Of course, we'd love for you guys to subscribe and hit the little dinger bell to get notified when we put more content up. But Shiner did a phenomenal job on this video, and it's our proudest project to date.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's at the top of the list as far as anything we've done, and it's a message that for a long time we've talked about getting out to people. And I think if you guys listen to us, you know this film, originally we were going to enter this in a challenge that Peter McKinnon had put out for 72 hours, and just through a course of events, we couldn't make the cutoff, and I was a little disappointed about that. But after I got this posted and then I pulled it up and watched it up from YouTube, I'm totally stoked that we didn't make the cutoff. Like this thing came out way better than it would have if we would have did it in 72 hours.
Oh, for sure.
Like I said, it's just a good message, man. It's a really good message for people to listen to and try to put it in play in your life. You know, I mean, it's something that I struggle with sometimes. I got to remind myself to do it, but. The film is titled The Odds. It all revolves around chasing your dream. And most of the time, if you're chasing a big enough dream, you're going to run across odds telling you that you're not going to be successful. And the whole concept of the film revolves around that. So, yeah, you guys, if you got a chance, give us 4 minutes of your time and give that a view. And we would love to know what you guys think of it.
It really is a fantastic video. Left me kind of on the brink of a little bit of tears, too. You know, number one, just the biggest thing is pride. You know, you start a company from the ground up, and you got this podcast, and you start doing other things, and then we kind of just circled the bowl to where we found something that really is us, and then march toward it. And that's exactly what we're doing right now with these videos.
I think that film is something completely different than anything we've done before, and it was a direction that probably I actually, when I watched it the first time after I got it completely edited and played it back through, I was kind of shocked. I was like, oh, whoa, we put this together?
Yeah. Yeah, it's